Last year at this time, everyone expected it would be the PlayStation 3 that would really give the 360 a run for its money. But with that system's high price tag and fears of a console shortage, it's Nintendo's Wii that has everyone chatting. Is the Wii the one that the others need to actually watch out for? Giddy up, Mario. It's The Loop. Joining us via satellite to help us make sense of it all, Kaiser Huang from San Francisco-based Deputy Editor-in-Chief of PSM Magazine, and Attack of the Show's resident gaming expert and X-Play co-host, Adam Sessler. Gentlemen, welcome to The Loop. Kaiser, I want to start with you, sir, because it seems that Nintendo can do no wrong. They've got everything going for them with the Wii. Is it really a console killer, though? Can this thing take on the 360 or the PlayStation 3?
My gut instinct says no. When I play it and I see it, I can't help thinking, you go to a carnival and you see these simple games where they're playing skeet ball. They're fun, but what kind of longevity do they have,
So you think maybe Nintendo's trying to position themselves as the second console for everybody to own, perhaps?
I think in the best case scenario, they can coexist, but when people see the next generation with Xbox and PlayStation, it's just not the same. You can't really compare them anymore.
Adam, what do you think? Is the Wii next gen? Does it have a shot?
It's definitely not next gen if we're looking at next gen as a true improvement in the technology, as it turns out, in the graphics and other aspects like that. Though at the same time, the Wii is doing something different, and in a big way, it's going to really dominate a lot of the mind share, I think, in the mainstream media this fall and this winter. Because think about it, you can take a PS3 on the Today Show, and it's just going to be these graphics of a game that looks better. You bring the Wii on, you got Diane Sawyer getting all excited. She's whacking the it's going to be the thing that a lot of people are going to be talking about, and they're going to be available, and it's going to be cheap. But I have to agree with Kaiser, though. Where he said it was the best case scenario, I think it really will be the second console to an Xbox 360 or a PS3 owner.
But now, what about Nintendo's marketing here? Because in the past, Nintendo struggled with this kiddie image. Everybody said, well, they're the console for the tweens and maybe even some of their parents. It seems now that Nintendo seems to be marketing senior citizens as a core group of gamers. And Kaiser, is this a smart move for them? Don't they have to win over the same people that already own 360s?
Right. It kind of seems like they're kind of going beyond the market. They want the hardcore gamers, which they have mainly because people are loyal or they have a lot of nostalgia for Nintendo. But, with older people, that's great. And, they can play games, but in the long term, that's not really the best strategy. They want to go for the younger people, bring these people up, have them, they're going to grow up and those generations pass down, get them used to the idea because, frankly, it's great that if everyone plays and everyone's older, but what's it really doing for them?
Well, but I think also that if you think about it, they've been actually sort of listening to what's happening culturally in this country is, most of us here, they're talking about video games are these disenfranchised males who, are very cynical about that. But a lot of people see the intrusion of a video game console into their household as something that tears the family apart. It's just another thing that someone's doing instead of actually talking to other people. So they have this very shrewd marketing campaign saying, if you bring the Wii into the home, grandma will play with grandson and maybe they'll actually develop some sort of relationship.
Do you ever see that happening? In your opinion, though, Adam, do you think that will actually happen with the Wii?
I think it might happen at least on Christmas Day.
One day for the family to be together, then Dad goes back to the Jim Beam, and Mom goes back to...
And then it's screaming all around.
Of course. Now, this thing is going to live and die by the Wiimote. Everybody knows that. It's all about this little tiny controller that's motion sensitive. Are people going to... carpal tunnel is one thing, but what about repetitive shoulder strain injuries? Kaiser, is this thing going to save Nintendo?
I've played it for hours and hours at E3, and, it's actually a lot more sensitive than you think, so you're making very subtle movements, but... it's hard to say. I think a lot of the games you have to play standing up, or you don't know how far you have to be away from the TV. You're in a very controlled environment, so to say what kind of long-term effect it might have, it's all up in the air right now. But
yeah, even in fact, Microsoft's Peter Moore was saying, "What's this thing going to feel like after an hour of gameplay? Isn't your shoulder going to be tired?" Adam. I like lounging on the couch in the boxers with a bag of Doritos and one hand in some Xbox Live Uno. Am I going to really enjoy playing the Wii? Do we have any idea of how it's going to play out in the living room scenario?
This is a great question because most of the times I've got a chance to play the Wii, I am standing up, which is not how they ever demonstrated being played in all those videos with those very excited people. I haven't got a chance to sit down on the couch where it's much easier to do those subtle movements. I found that when I'm standing up, I'm wanting to do these broader strokes, which actually isn't how the games are designed to be played. Also, as we were saying earlier, they have two big games. They have Red Steel and they have Zelda. These are like the more traditional narrative games. Everything else they have are either a collection of mini games or more like a quick fix game, like Excite Truck. And I don't know, while they're a lot of fun to play, will I want to start a relationship with those games as I will with a Gears of War or a Resistance Fall of Man?
Right, and you want to add to that, I mean, those two games, exactly like, what next after that? Okay, now we've seen the sword fighting, we've seen the guns, okay, it's a first-person shooter, but what then? You know, is that still or are we gonna feel that that's the best control solution? And is it, just because it's different, does that make it really better?
I think we really have to wait until we see the next batch of games where a lot of these developers that made the games at launch, they now understand how to use the technology. I mean, I think one can always, say that a lot of these first-gen games are almost like tech demos. It's the developers trying to find their way with the new technology.
Well, now, the actual
second batch is more important.
The actual Wii games aside, there's also this virtual console aspect to this whole thing. Really quickly, Kaiser, a back catalog of video games, is that going to bring any new gamers, or are you just going to make the current nostalgic Nintendo fanboys happy with this library of games?
You know, I think it's a great idea, and it definitely will appeal to all the Nintendo fans out there, but who's to say, Frogger on Xbox Live isn't any more nostalgic than, say, Super Mario? I think with all the consoles, PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo all offering that, and there's a lot of actually overlap in the titles, I don't think it's really an ace card for them at all.
All right, Adam, I want to put you in a very, very awkward position as we end this loop here.
As you always do, Kevin.
Well, top 3 consoles in order of, let's say, popularity, sales, etc. What are they going to be this holiday season?
At the end of the holiday season, I'd say Microsoft, Nintendo, Sony.
Wow. There you have it, folks. The console wars are once again raging, and from the sound of it, the only way you can ensure the safety of you and your family is to take out a second job and just buy them all. It's not that hard. Thanks to Kaiser and Adam for joining us at the Digital Water Cooler and keeping us in the loop.